We're going to call the December 18th, 2025 regular city council meeting for the city of Cherokee Village to order. If you wouldn't mind, I will stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll recognize a short moment of silence, please. Roll call vote, please.
Vote.
Harrison.
Here.
Rachel Tatum. Thompson.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Jeff Tatum. Lowe.
Here.
Ishmael.
Here.
Rowland. Here. Mayor, clerk, and attorney in attendance.
Alrighty. Had a minute to look over tonight's agenda. We had any change or additions, and need a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I need to make an addition to the agenda
Okay.
for new business. This will be number 3, resolution to put to vote and pass the 2026 budget.
Okay. Mr. Martin?
So then my motion will be, well, we have to approve her motion first, correct?
Approve the agenda with the addition.
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the agenda with the addition.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, seconded by Ms. Harrison to approve tonight's agenda with the addition of number 3. It'd be to approve the resolution for the 2026 operating budget for the city. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like signs. Motion passes. Any public comments or questions on the listed agenda items? Seeing none, had a minute to review the minutes of the last regular meeting and entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we do the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, seconded by Mr. Ishmael to approve the minutes as presented of the last meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passes. We have had a couple correspondences. They're all listed. Everybody's got copies, and they're on the website. One is from the Hannah Eisenberg, and one from the Cherokee Village Animal Control Volunteers. Anything? I don't think we've had anything else, have we, Miss Penny?
No.
Anybody, anything to discuss about the financial report? Actually, don't have a copy of it. The numbers won't come out until the 25th. I know we was slowing down a little bit on our expected income, expected revenue. I always have to think of expected revenue. Yes, what?
I could be wrong, but do we read those correspondences when we get them, or no?
It's up to the mayor.
Okay. All right. I don't know the rules.
There's one at the end.
Yes, to speak at the end. Yeah, yep. Yeah, there'll be a time at the end of the council meeting to talk. You're having a hard time hearing me. I apologize. Okay. Oh, so, well, since we added the budget to the new business, well, do you want to give an update now, or you just want to wait till the end, Miss Heather?
Either way, it doesn't matter to me. If you want to do it when we're going to vote, or it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll just wait till the new, talk about it all at once. In the mayor's report, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a whole lot except to remind people that with the holiday coming up, I know everybody's probably seen by now that the governor has declared the Friday, the 26th, as a state holiday. So, with the council's approval, was gonna let the city employees have the 26th as a holiday. You have any
I make a
discussion?
motion, we accept.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Thompson to include the Friday, December 26, 2025 in the holiday schedule. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. And also on the New Year holiday, the following week, we've made some change. We're going to be, let me get my calendar open to make sure I recite this right. We're going to be open, the city hall will be open till, it was 2 p.m., wasn't it, on Wednesday, Miss Penny? City hall will be open 2 p.m. on Wednesday the 31st on New Year's Eve, because we'll just do the New Year's Day the 1st and Friday the 2nd as a holiday. That way it don't confuse people. And I checked with the surrounding mayors and towns, and that's kind of what everybody's doing, so just to let everybody know.
And Mayor, so sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask if she was going to speak to the agenda items, or if she was going to wait until after. Did you have a comment about the agenda?
No.
Yes, well, because then technically you could speak to that first, or you can wait till the end of the meeting.
She signed up for the,
I would suggest wait till the end.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
we can-
checking, sorry.
Yeah, I get in trouble enough by Miss Penny for getting out of order on the budget. Makes it very confusing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there'll be plenty of time at the end. Little update on the bridge project. They're moving along with it. Last I talked to them, they're hoping to be completely done, probably sometime by the end of March is what their projected completion date is on the bridge project out here. I done noticed that we've had somebody drive through the intersection and mend the railing on the bridge, so they're going to have to repair that. So that didn't last very long. But so they're going to get done with that. I'm still been in contact with Mr. Steinwell, our state representative, about making sure the hospital property is going to get to go up in the Commissioner of State Land Sales in June, approximately June of next year. Can't think, can you refresh my memory on anything else, Miss Penny? Okay. All righty, departmental reports. Anything to add, Miss Macon? I know you're doing well. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Fire Chief, Mr. Kell, anything to add to your departmental report? I will. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't touch on the fire siren or the tornado siren.
We discussed it Monday night, but currently, our Thunderbird tornado siren is out of service. The company has come and removed it off there. I spoke with them since our working meeting, the company that removed that. They're also going to submit a bid for a fixed horn siren to see if that's comparable to the repairs to the one that we have. Because I know those are a lot less expensive to maintain regularly from experience. So I'm going to see that, and then whenever I get that information, I'll bring it to y'all and we'll make a decision which way we want to go. I mean, if it's way out of balance, I'm not going to mess with it. We'll just go forward with fixing what we have. But if it's close, I'll bring it to y'all and let you decide how we want to go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Police Chief, anything to add to your report?
No, sir.
All righty. Miss Ma'am, anything new with the A&P? On departmental reports?
I was not at the last
Oh, okay.
meeting.
Was Jason or Miss Heather there?
Actually was not either.
Okay,
I am not on A&P.
okay. All righty, so nothing to add. Nothing to add.
That's on the record.
Anyway, we can get into the old business. As discussed Monday night, when we was here Monday night during our working meeting, Miss Penny had discussed with the attorneys in the municipal league about the election term for the city clerk, about when we had discussed previously about modifying it to a 2-year term and then back to a 4-year term in order to stagger the mayor and city clerk's terms. They had told it, I'll let Miss Penny explain it because she talked to municipal league.
Oh, no, I talked to Tanya up to Sharp County
Yes.
about changing it. She talked to the state and said that we could not change it. I referred it to Jody, and he's got your report.
Oh, I'm getting it
Yes, I
past
actually prepared a memorandum on the subject, just kind of outlining the issue, and pointing out the statutes that underlie the fact that we can't speak this.
Yeah.
The way to get that done would be to petition our local legislators, get them to move through that in Little Rock. They have to actually change the law to allow for that. Otherwise, state law rules, and it's not something the city can draft an ordinance
To do.
create that difference of the timing of the election. So
So,
I'll get that memorandum out to everybody, try to get it out by the end of the day tomorrow.
okay.
And if there's any questions on that, please feel free to contact me about it, and we can discuss it.
No problem. Now, on old business number 2, the Waste Connection contract, I've been in contact with Mr. Shawn, the one that come to the city council meeting, spoke to us, about the contract. Their proposed contract was an exclusivity contract. Well, in the meantime, there was a Supreme Court ruling come through out of Holiday Island that the Arkansas Supreme Court ruled on that said that municipalities can contract with a single waste collection entity for normal residential pickup, but they went on to clarify and say that supplemental dumpsters or roll-off pickups, that the cities couldn't enforce any exclusivity in the supplemental pickup. So, of course, Waste Connection, they're a nationwide company, big in Arkansas, so he was very aware of what was going on, so they've sent their contract back to their attorneys to get it all changed and what has to be legal. He did call me the other day and was asking me if we was acceptable to what was already proposed in the contract with the exception of the exclusivity on the roll-offs, to which I told him that we had a couple council meetings and that I believe everybody was pretty favorable. Pretty favorable with the rest of the contract, just if they can get the wording, figured out for the supplemental trash pickup. So, I guess if council kind of agrees, I'll let him know that that's kind of the direction we're heading. That's the direction we're heading. That, if they can get the wording figured out on the supplemental, that we're agreeable with the rest of the contract. So kind of just waiting on them for right now. The old business number 3 was the auxiliary dwelling units ordinance. Mr. Ishmael, you got any? Discussion on that?
Well, I would like to apologize because I mistakenly missed that meeting. Kelly was there. Can you? Was Jason there?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So we did have a special planning and zoning meeting. The commissioners, or the committee was there, Angela was there, Charlie was there, I was there as well. And we just discussed overall how we wanted to approach this, and instead of it being a planning and zoning, submit all the ordinances for city council to approve, that, you know, I wanted to offer assistance and on the front end to kind of get it all done, to kind of speed things up. So I did reach out to the Arkansas Municipal League and asked for either some examples of what other towns in Arkansas have already done to amend or rewrite their ordinances as it pertains to auxiliary dwelling units. And they did get back with me, and they actually sent me two, as well as some notes on how to write ours. And also found out that there is really no penalty from the state for the city not being compliant by the January 1st deadline, that deadline was set forth more so as at that point, citizens cannot be told no to get a permit for an ADU, and they don't have to go before a special hearing for a variance or anything like that. At that point, you know, the cities have to work with all citizens and the ones that want to obtain building permits for an ADU. So we're good there. So we're going to continue to get an ordinance drafted for Cherokee Village as it pertains to ADUs. And again, just to clarify, ADU specifically, auxiliary dwelling unit. So it is not a standalone tiny home on a lot. This particular House bill pertains solely to a homeowner's right to have an ADU on their parcel that they're currently already living on, where there is already a home on that parcel. So think of, like, you know, guest house, mother-in-law suite, things like that. So anyway, so we are working, we're well on our way to having the ordinances done to be completely compliant with the state.
Yeah, it's
Mayor, I did ask Angela, since we were talking about that, for the minutes from that meeting, if council would like them. So I do have copies, the drafts of the meeting.
oh, okay. Cool. All righty, new business number one, or any more discussion, before we move on, sorry.
I have a quick question
Go
going
ahead.
back to that meeting. I know we talked about it Monday night, and there were really no answers on how the shed ended up where it did in that whole situation. But we had talked about how we were going to move forward and maybe try to find out what can be done about it. I don't know if you've got, like, is that something you just passed to Mr. Charlie, or is that something?
Yes, yeah, I mean, moving forward, they can't, I'm not really for sure what we can do about what's already there, but moving forward, it'll not be done, we can just make sure we don't make the same mistakes again moving forward. And that's what's been pressed to them, yes.
Okay. But is that department looking in to see if there's anything that can legally be done about the shed that's sitting out there?
What's wrong with the shed?
I mean, we can try, but I don't know about the legalities of kicking somebody out of their house after they've received a permit.
What's wrong with the place?
I mean,
It's a
we can,
shed.
I'll
Well,
ask.
it's smaller than a regular house. What's wrong with the place? What is unsafe about that place?
Well, we don't have any control with their certificate of occupancy. We were told that they were going to be adding on to it to make it larger than 220 square feet. But the permit was given for them basically to just go ahead and move in. There was no conditional use, no condition that they provide plans for this addition. So, I mean.
Well, if they put an addition on, yes, they have to present plans. That's just there. They just can't add an addition on and say, just like you can't convert your garage into another room.
Right.
Without
But-
adding plans. So what's physically wrong or physically unsafe about that structure?
How is it tied down? How is it secured to the lot? It's not conforming with the other homes. Why would we?
Okay, well, no, you're doing aesthetics. aesthetics aside.
No, it's
what's
safety. They
no,
can blow
no.
into someone's house. It's not-
Tied down, yes, you can zip screws down through the outside of the thing if you want to make that a point, yes, that can be done, put it into cement, that's fine. That doesn't mean it's going to stay there. I've seen lots of houses get blown down by tornadoes, you know. Then again, I've seen houses that didn't get blown down by tornadoes that are basically single wides. So, I mean, what is physically unsafe about the house? They've got a kitchen in there, they got the plumbing in there, that was all certified, that it was all done right and correct.
Do we know that? We don't know that.
I was under the impression that it was inspected.
Were there permits for septic, water,
Was it,
electrical?
yeah, exactly. There weren't any of those permits.
Somebody would have had to done it, and they would have had to been a contractor.
I think that's the point, is none of that's been done, Peter.
Well, that's what I'm asking. We don't have any evidence that it hasn't been done?
Peter, but you don't have any evidence that it has been done. So the issue is, number one, they got a permit to install a shed. That's the only permit they obtained. They didn't obtain electrical, plumbing.
Septic?
There was no confirmation that you have a properly anchored structure to a foundation. And certainly there was no occupancy permit granted. They just got a permit to install a shed. That's it. So the issue that's been raised by neighbors and the issue that's before the P&Z committee is, what can you legally do as a city in terms of establishing compliance with normally established codes for single-family dwellings? Those codes are in place already for the city, but the only permit that was presented to council in the planning meeting was that the installation of a shed, not a construction permit,
Well,
plumbing,
if it's
electrical,
a shed that's put
foundation.
there, then it's not. But I mean, there's septic at the property, or else they couldn't hook up a toilet. And if a person buys a lot with a foundation on it and has a septic tank there, they don't go in and ask for another septic plat. That doesn't happen.
You don't ask for a
Nobody
septic
asks for a
plat,
septic
but your
plat.
plumber has to come in and get
And you have to
a
have a
permit
plumber do it,
to
right.
install, to hook you up to
And
that.
I'm assuming an electrician did it too, because that's another
But
thing
you're
that you can't,
assuming, there's no permit that was
that shows
pulled.
either one of those. There you go.
There was
That's
no
what I'm
electrical-
asking.
There was no electrical permit pulled, there was no plumbing permit pulled.
That's
there was
what I'm
no-
asking.
There was no inspection
And
of
then I
the
would be,
foundation
I would be
properly.
concerned about the structure itself, because there's no, I don't know if there's an industry standard on how a shed is built.
Yes, compared to either like a mobile home, which of
Yeah,
course Santa
I
Fe
mean-
is zoned for, or a site-built home.
I mean, I'm building a shop up off of Potawatomi, and before I put anything on the outside of it, Charlie's gonna have to come inspect it and make sure
Correct.
everything's done correctly. So with the shed, I mean, those sheds are built by, there's 500 companies that build them. So none of them are built the same. There's not really a standard that says, now, I would assume that they're carpenters and they built them in a way that is strong, but, I mean, we don't know that. This is the first time we've dealt with it, as somebody using it as a residence to our knowledge and getting a permit for it.
Hey, but it's the same thing as a person moving into a house that's built in 1960 in here. Some of them don't even have drywall in them. Some of them don't have the proper electrical in them.
I agree
You know,
with you, but
so-
the issue is that we're trying to catch it on the front end, you know, if you walk.
Correct, so that's what I was asking, if there were, what was unsafe about it? You brought up the points, thank you, that's what I was asking.
Well, and my fear, and this would be a question for our legal counsel, but my fear is that obviously with any type of bills of assurance issues, that is handled in civil court between the two parties. However, if this is not compliant with any of our ordinances or building code, are we not setting our citizens and us up for a little bit of a disaster there because we didn't comply? We didn't follow our own code.
Liability could follow from that, yes.
Okay. So that's why I strongly feel like this needs to be figured out. We need to figure out a way to either revoke that permit or find some type of precedent that would allow us to undo what has been done. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Guess we can get the attorneys to pen a letter to send to the property owners to revoke their permit and to evict them from their homes. Is that what you're wanting to do?
At Christmas time, can't you give them at least a
No.
month?
No,
I don't
I
think
will not, I
that's-
will not be demonized for
Yeah,
this.
same.
No,
That's-
absolutely not. We're not gonna play the guilt trip card. This should not have happened, and it did.
Okay.
Errors
not
were
their
made.
fault.
I'm not playing the guilt trip card. I'm asking you for
Well,
clarification
someone
on
said
what you
Christmas,
want.
I know what time of year it is, but I'm just saying,
Oh,
like, this is an
sorry.
issue, and we can't just sit here and pretend like it's not a problem.
What we
And
talked
ha-
about Monday night was digging into it further, because first of all, I had asked, go back to the last city council meeting. We had asked them to have a special meeting, not only over the new ordinances that need to be done, but getting to the bottom of the situation that the citizens showed up here to speak about how upset they were about the shed out there. And so that was another part of what that meeting was supposed to, how did this happen? Who issued that permit? You know, and get to the bottom of all this. Monday night, when I asked that question, I was referred to talk to Tom about it, and when I asked, Tom looked at me and said, don't know, nobody would answer. And so I was dumbfounded on, what do you mean nobody would answer? And he said, we couldn't get any answers. So my thought was, we have a whole office of records, why can we not figure out how this happened? So then we got past that, and then we started talking about, so what do we do with the problem now? And so I thought that city council had said, let's have someone dig into it to see what our options were. So I don't think anybody's up here tonight going, hey, let's kick somebody out of their home. You've got citizens that are upset that it happened in the first place, granted they should.
Yeah.
And so we've got that part of the problem to answer for. And then like what Jason just brought up on liability, if their neighbors decide to sue them. So this is something we need to get to the bottom
But
of.
that's
We're not
between the
saying
neighbor and
throw.
them, not us.
No, you
Not-
just
not if
heard
we
the attorney
willingly set them
say
up.
that there could be liability because we're the ones who issued a permit that shouldn't have been issued. All we were saying was just figure out what our options
Yeah,
are.
no,
That's
I'm
all.
in agreement
We're
with
not trying to
that.
throw anybody out at
I'm
Christmas.
in agreement with that. Figure out what our options are, yes.
Okay, so there you go. It's cleared up. We're gonna figure out what our options are.
There you go.
If I might, I think at this point, part of what we should require these new residents to do is to establish that they had properly licensed electricians hook up their power, that they had properly licensed plumbers hook up their septic and their water supply, and that they have secured the structure to a foundation of some sort that is acceptable under the current city codes. I don't think that doesn't throw anybody out of their house,
Exactly.
but it does sit there and establish the fact that there are some standards that we have to follow. We have ordinances for single-family dwellings. We don't have any ordinances for the occupancy of a shed. And so they've tried to substitute that for either a pre-manufactured home, like a mobile home, or a stick-built structure, but they've substituted a shed, which is unprecedented. We've never approved in the history of the city. And admittedly, to your point, Peter, we have homes that were built in the 60s and 70s. That was before we were incorporated as a city. We've established standards since 1998 when we were incorporated as a city. And we have an obligation to our citizens to enforce the codes. If we don't enforce the codes here, how do we possibly enforce the codes down the road? We cannot let this pass just because it's already done. So we have to figure out a path to correct the error.
I'm in agreement.
Okay.
All righty, moving on. The new business number 1 is the legislative audit final ruling. Got to go through it. It says, as a reminder, Arkansas Code 10-4-418 requires the city council to review this report and accompanying comments, if applicable. Is everybody, I know it's on the website, it's been emailed to everybody. To which we passed legislative audit for the 2024.
May I make a suggestion? Have the clerk read it so everybody here knows what it is. It's not much.
Like we're talking about the paragraph or like the
Yeah,
entire document?
just the first page.
Oh,
I think that if we do a voice vote,
Yeah, that's good enough for
that
you?
we've reviewed the legislative audit, would that comply with the?
As long as it's been reviewed by the council members.
Sounds good.
During the audit, when she asked me, I told her, we talked about it last year, but in my minutes, I just said that it was reviewed and accepted. That was not good enough.
It didn't.
So that's why we're doing it this way.
And voice vote, please, Miss Penny.
Do we need a motion?
Oh,
I move that we accept the audit, or that, the review of the audit.
second?
motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Ishmael to accept the,
That we've all read the audit.
that they've all read and studied the 2024, it is the 2024 audit, isn't it? Yeah, 2024 audit of the City of Cherokee Village, which was passed legislative audit. Voice vote, please.
Harrison,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Roland.
Yes.
Motion passed.
All righty. New business number 2 is the lawsuit, case number 25CV-25-10. The Mark Kronkowski petitioner versus Stephen Rose as the capacity of mayor. To which we went to court for adjudication on the, was it 26th of November. The court, Judge Holly Meyer, Circuit Court of there in Fulton County, found in favor of Mr. Kronkowski to issue a order to appoint a special administrator for the Cherokee, that the city appoint a special administrator for the Cherokee Village Suburban Improvement District to, which the order and everything's on, I mean, it's, I know everybody's read it by now, but.
Does it say city or mayor?
What's that?
Does it physically say city or mayor?
And what?
On,
Says
who
Stephen
has
R. Rose in his capacity as the mayor of Cherokee Village, as the city of Cherokee
So
Village.
it's not the city, it's the mayor. Because there's a distinction from making an appointment. If it's specifically you, and that's what the judge is saying, then I would assume we as a city council don't have to approve it. If it's the city of Cherokee Village, then it would be the city council, once you make your appointment, we approve or deny your appointment. So that's why I want to make sure that we aren't getting pulled into it. It's something that's specifically you.
Yeah. As far as I know, it says the mayor,
As long as
my
it's-
name as the capacity of the mayor of the city of Cherokee Village, and the way the law reads, it is an appointment made by the mayor or the county judge, and shall serve at the mayor or county judge's.
Right, but appointments are voted on by the city council.
Yeah, not
That's
this
what-
one, I believe.
That's what I wanted to make sure.
This is strictly up to the mayor. So, anyway, we've, been looking at a couple people. No final decision has been made just at this time. The time for the judge's order has to be complied with by the
22nd.
end of business on Monday, the 22nd.
Mr. Mayor?
Mhm.
Again, I can't say what action should be taken or not in light of Mr. Martin's comments, but I might offer a suggestion that due to the holidays and due to the difficulty of timing of you to be able to properly review and vet possible candidates for this position, that the city attorney approach the judge and request a stay of 30 days to provide additional time to properly locate and vet a person that would be able to properly conduct the responsibilities of an administrator. Is that an unreasonable request, to take before the judge? Pardon?
We serve the city. If that's what you guys would like, we can definitely ask the judge for a stay for 30 days for more time. I don't know what she'll say, but we can always ask, and that's, would be a no harm, no foul approach to it, and she might agree.
My only thing is on the back end of that, it's got to be done by close of business Monday. Tomorrow's Friday. Trying to get that request answered by a judge in that amount of time, it's going to be very difficult probably. I'm saying that's fine to go for it, but
point well
also the
taken.
mayor probably needs to have at least an idea of what he's going to do just in case you don't get that answer in time. That was my only
We need to make sure
thing.
that we follow what the order says to the letter. It says 14 days, that's the deadline. Even if we asked for a stay, that would not change anything.
Right.
And it is very likely that we would have a hard time getting an answer on that before.
Yeah.
So we can ask, but we need to make sure that we don't hang our hat on it and that we are able to comply within the time designated by the board.
And one of the options that we kind of discussed today is if we couldn't find somebody, if we didn't find a particular person in time, there is a possibility that we could appoint a temporary until we find the proper person to comply with the judge's orders. That was one of the options that was given today.
And at our working meeting, we did discuss, or we had questions around the salary or the payment of this special administrator and who ultimately was going to be responsible for paying that salary or that wage, whether or not it would be the city or SID. And we weren't able to get any clear answers to that. And obviously with budgets and whatnot, trying to put.
It's very important.
Yeah, so do we know who has to pay ultimately?
I can say up front, I believe the city is going to be the one to foot the bill, but I can draft a memo specifically on how we arrive at that figure
Okay.
and what the law says about that.
Okay.
I'll write that down.
And I would also say I've made inquiry since Monday on a couple of situations in the state where an administrator was appointed, and that cost was absorbed by the district, not by the city. So I believe precedent has been set in this situation. To answer your question, there are other improvement districts where an administrator cost was absorbed by the district that was being administered, not the municipality.
Under the same
Under
reasoning
the
of why
same
this one is?
writ. Under the same writ of mandamus, in the appointment of an administrator. So there is precedent in other communities, and I can certainly provide you that.
I'll do a full brief on it, and we'll go all the way down to the letter of the law.
Okay.
And then with one little additional caveat, again, I apologize if I'm ignorant or speaking, but if it comes down to the city is ultimately responsible for paying the wage or the salary, but the writ says that the mayor is to appoint, and city council, of course, has to approve the expenditure, do we not need to be more involved with the process of who is appointed if ultimately we have to get involved with how they're to be paid?
I think that might be that particular juncture of that issue might be something that just has to be worked out among the council. The order says the mayor has
Of course,
full
yes.
authority for the appointment, but the expenditure would be a council issue. So I would say, and I trust that the council and the mayor's office can cooperate, come to an agreement.
And just to speak a little bit, I mean, and I may be, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Jody, but the part of the reason that it falls on the mayor is because of the tort immunity. The mayor is covered under immunity for day-to-day operations. If the city council gets involved in the hiring and firing of the employees, the city council has taken on the responsibilities of the administration, to which they don't fall under the same immunity that the mayor does as the administrator.
I would have to research that exact point.
Yeah.
I don't, I know that the immunity does extend to the mayor's office, and to the extent that it extends or doesn't extend to the council, I'd need to go back and look.
Oh, well. But yeah, either way, I mean, I was hoping to have a person picked out by tonight's meeting. That was the hope, but I haven't got a confirmation yet. So until I get a confirmation, we're still on the look.
But Mayor, there's no part right now of the city taking any sort of part in working with SID on this list or anything like that going on, right?
As far as what do you mean, not taking any part?
Like trying to work on the order from the judge, or like the city's not doing anything like that right now. Nothing's being done until a special administrator is appointed, correct?
I mean, not from us. I can't attest to what SID's doing, but I mean, no, we're just waiting on somebody to be the special administrator, yeah.
Mayor, is a misprint on the agenda. The case number actually is 25CV-25-100,
Oh, 100, okay.
just for clarification.
Missed a zero. Any questions, anything, anyone want to discuss anything?
It's up to you, poor guy.
Oh, yeah. I even tried to run away and they wouldn't let me do it. They were going to threaten to let the air out of my tires. Alrighty, on to, well, and like I said, as soon as its confirmation's made, I mean, it'll be the council, I mean, media, I will let, the council, everybody will know. It'll go out and it'll be public and everybody will know. Alrighty, number 3 is the budget. We moved from up top down to the new business. So I'll let Miss Heather talk about it here in a minute. I know we've been, since September, we've kind of been through this thing and up and down and around and mashing the numbers, so I'll let her do her presentation on the budget. This will be the 2026 proposed expenditure budget for the city of Cherokee Village.
Does anyone need any numbers or have any questions?
Do you want to
No, not since-
clarify?
And we had a very, 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 and it was a very good meeting, very good detailed working meeting Monday night. So, I mean, it's on the YouTube world. So, I mean, any detailed questions, you can go on the YouTube world and look them up.
The latest summary of numbers that have changed from Monday night's working meeting is administration's revenue has gone up by 12,000. And the animal control salary has been reduced, labor expenses by 17,450.
Hey, Heather, do you care to speak up just a little bit? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't get the animal control part.
Okay, administration's been increased, administration revenue has been
think it's
increased by 12,000, and animal control's labor expense has been decreased by 17,450. So the total on our revenue and expenses for all departments, we come in at a deficit of 108,584. And the only note to that has just been brought up, here recently is, number one, to keep in mind that part of street department state money can only be spent on certain expenses of the city. Number two, we have not budgeted for this possible SID salary of the administrator, and Cal is still working on the tornado siren. So those are the big summary numbers. If anybody's got any questions, if we need to go through this line by line, you can just ask.
Just for the public's knowledge, can you give them the total of what the total revenue for the projected that's for 2026 and the total expenditures for 2026?
Okay, total revenue, which includes all departments, it includes Fire Department's Act 833, it also includes the state money that the street department gets. That total revenue is $3,610,650. And total expenses of all departments, including Fires Act 833 and street departments, expenses that aren't state street related, is $3,719,234, which equals a negative 108,584.
What, and just for my curiosity, what, you're better with numbers, Steve, what is the percentage off that is?
About 3%. Just under 3%.
About just under 3%? That's,
I believe that's right.
in the 3 years that I've been mayor, Mr. Paul probably knows this one better because I know he was involved. We usually have been blessed to have about a, 3%? It's about a 3% over year increase, isn't it? Our budget revenue. Oh, yeah, 2.9. He said yes, okay.
2.9.
So that's one thing that we've been blessed with the last three. I mean, that's and that goes and falls with the economy too. But I mean, we've been blessed since the 3 years I've been mayor. We've enjoyed about a 3% revenue increase year over year. So, I mean, we're within our 3% window on the budget as presented. Got any questions? It's a good time to get them out. Questions on the budget?
And then
Statements or-
if somebody has a question, just pipe in, but all I was going to say is, at the end of the day, I also work on the Economic Exploration Committee, and so we're trying to find even more ways to increase revenue for the city. And the bottom line is, we have cut and trimmed, trying to give the city its basic needs of all departments: fire, police, road, animal control, planning and zoning. The bottom line is the city needs more money. So if we spent everything we're budgeting, we're under. And like I said, that doesn't even include some of the streets expenses that will not get paid by the state, because the money the street makes from the state can only be spent on certain things: roads, equipment, repair. So just with that being said, the city's got a lot of work to do, and we need to increase our revenue by all means necessary. And that's going to be at the top of our list for our EEC committee to get back on it in January to start brainstorming ideas. So we'll announce those meetings, and love for the public to come brainstorm with us and give us your good ideas, and start rallying how this city's going to increase its revenue year after year after year.
Hey, Heather, I've got a quick question. I know I had kind of posed a question to you about talking about some of the street department's funds that could not be paid out of the state money. And at the time, we were kind of looking at the number, and that changed it, that if everything was spent, if what we thought couldn't be paid by state money was accurate, it was actually going to put it like roughly 346,000 in the red. Is that still yes, or did you get answers on what can and cannot, and were we off on that?
Well, I talked to Misty, which today's not the first time I've asked her this. I ask all the time just to make sure I'm clear and understanding and everything. Basically, in a nutshell, state street revenue cannot be spent for streets. Administrative costs, labor, supplies, janitorial expenses, stuff like that, which total about $287,000. So state revenue that street gets, that money, which is $422,900, can't pay for part of those expenses. So the graph got done the same way it always gets done as far as revenue, expenses. You take all revenue, all expenses, and that's the number. And I just like to reiterate, but you're correct. I mean, that's how street works with its expenses. You know, state revenue can pay for some of it, and state revenue can't pay for other. So you could look at it as there's going to be more expenses than shown on this page. I don't, you know, other than saying it like that, the revenue comes in, it's just part of that revenue can't pay for certain expenses.
Right, but at the end of the day, like our bottom line, what we're looking at what we refer to as being
If I plugged in that $160 of street expenses that can't be paid by state, yeah, our number would be about $395,000 in the negative.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody understands that, because when we talk about, what was it, we're only 108,000 deficit, if you do the numbers, talking about what we just did with street, no, it's actually, which my number was roughly 346, but you just said a number higher than that.
No, I'm sorry, 316, that's the new.
316,
I
okay.
apologize, because we had, administration went up, and our revenue went up on administration, and animal control went down just a little bit. That new number would be 316,000, roughly.
And as I've always said, the budget is a projection, your projection in the next year, because we're hoping for a certain amount of revenue, and if we have that certain amount of revenue, we're able to fund the proposed budget. If you don't have the revenue, you don't fund it. That's one thing we talked about in the budget committee too, is you always have to remember, I know we talk about budgets and we say this is the budget and it's a deficit budget. I've always been told, I know I'm a simpleton redneck that was raised here all my life, but a budget is written in pencil for a purpose, because budgets can be changed. If you don't see the revenue coming in, we don't make the expenditures. We have some pretty good department heads that are very frugal, and they don't spend money, you know, all willy-nilly without asking for the, you know, coming to the council. So, I mean, we've done very good the 3 years I've been mayor, that the budget may have reflected a negative number, but if you go back and look in what was actually the actual real numbers, we've been able to stay under, our expenditures are under our income.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I just, you know, I want to reiterate, this is a good place to do it in front of council and the public, and that is, at the end of the day, it needs to be clear that the city needs more money, period. So we have gotten very fortunate. Last year, 2025, we got more revenue than expected. Some departments didn't spend money, and absolutely, we came in 166 in the positive. But just to be clear, the city needs more money.
How much
And thank
does-
you, departments heads, for helping me with the budget. I appreciate that.
How much does the city have set aside?
As far as
in general,
in general,
a number.
you're gonna make me.
Do you have that labor pay, that?
Yeah, the bank. Now, and honestly, I didn't, when me and Misty got this out the other day, she didn't have the first community in there, so this is just the FNBC accounts to which, the bank balances as of the December 15th, 2025, all in bank, this is just FNBC, and we do have an account at First Community, but just FNBC is, $2,545,157.20.
And we still have to finish up the year.
Yeah, we got a couple weeks. If you're referring, our one general checking savings account has 507-265-19 in it, and the one at the First Community, it's going to be, I'm going to have to say, it's, off the top of my head, it's somewhere around 445. I don't have an exact number without looking at the computer, but it's somewhere around 445.
Thank you.
There's, I don't know any questions, no. Are we ready to vote on it as a resolution or pass it as the operating budget for 2026 or?
Be a resolution.
Yeah, it'd be a resolution. I actually don't have a number. What would the number be, Miss Penny, for the resolution? Don't have one yet?
Don't assign it
Till it's passed? Okay.
Do we have a resolution made?
Yes, right here.
There we go.
So if there's no discussion or no, I mean, if we're willing to, if it's, looks good and passable, I mean, I'm ready, I'd entertain a motion pass the resolution for the 2026 operating budget. Proposed.
Do you second that, or does somebody have to make?
No, yeah, somebody's gotta I can't make a motion.
Make a motion.
I make a motion that we have a resolution to pass the 2026 proposed budget.
I second.
Motion by Miss Heather, seconded by Mr. Jason to pass the resolution number 2025. It'd be a resolution to adopt the annual operating budget for the city of Cherokee Village for the year 2026. Voice vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Martin,
Skip me.
What do you mean?
I mean, call everybody else. I'll be the last one.
we're
called.
going in order.
Well, then,
We'll wait, we'll pause and wait.
you need 6 people to pass it, don't you? Correct?
Should be
You need.
five of the 8, I
you
believe.
need- You need 6 of the 8.
It should be a simple majority, shouldn't it?
Nope. Not on finances.
I believe the mayor can cast the vote as well. That's just me.
Yeah, because it'll either be a simple majority of the whole or
No,
2/3 of the whole.
Majority of the whole. It's not a simple majority.
Can we continue the vote?
That's what I was telling them to do.
For the Arkansas Municipal Code.
Roll call vote is 2/3 of the whole council,
And the
of
whole-
8, 6 affirmative.
So it has to be 6 affirmative council members. For a
Oh,
budget
no, that's for an
resolution
ordinance, I'm
to pass.
sorry.
for budget, it's finance. So finance is different than a lot of other things.
It's a resolution, not an ordinance.
Not an ordinance.
It still takes 6 council members to pass it.
Actually, if we're rounding, it would take 5, if you round it down.
But you can't round down. This has happened before.
Might be a good time for a restroom break.
The statute itself says a majority of the whole number of members of a governing body constitutes a quorum for the transaction of business. So a majority.
Of the whole. And the majority of the whole,
Number of members of the
and the
governing
majority of the whole would be 6.
No, majority of 8 is 5.
A majority of 8 is 5.
Okay, then. Then I
Majority
abstain.
of 6 is.
I'll
Now-
abstain.
Yeah, because you get to, and that is one thing, you have, it has to be of the whole, not of who's present, it's of the whole.
Then I abstain.
So how many do you need?
5.
And then did we get the question answered if the mayor gets a vote or not?
Only if it's a tie. And the mayor can only vote in the affirmative.
The quorum is calculated based on the total council seats,
Yes.
and that's out of 1443 501A2A.
That's fine, as long as you say it's 5, I abstain.
And the mayor can only vote in the affirmative, only in the case of a tie, to break a tie.
Lowe,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Roland,
I voiced my concerns about a few things on Monday night, but as a whole, yes.
Harrison,
And I'll reiterate to that it is a resolution and we can change it.
Yeah.
So for this gets into operating and they can move forward for January, so yes.
5 yes, 1 abstain.
Ready. Motion passes. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Got Miss Sherry. Is it Sherry Lemires? Lemire. Okay. Just come to the front there and state your name and address if you would like, and what your concerns is.
Hi, I'm Sherry Lammers, and I live at 11.
Be sure to speak in the mic, I'm sorry.
I'm Sherry Lammers, and I live on 11 Tossie Drive, and it's right off of Calcon Trace, is a circle off of Tossie. And there are 2 lots that separate me with the 7 Calcon Trace from my property. And that's why I'm here today. Since buying my property in 2023, this house has made very little progress towards completion. Just a smidgen of work has been done. This house has mainly been covered with a blue tarp that has shredded and sent little pieces of blue into the lake, into our yards, into our trees. There's rotting supplies that are covering the yard that are about this high. While I was over at my neighbor's house, I saw a dark fuzzy creature with a long tail, about this long, go into the house, and I thought, oh my goodness, now it has rats. And just last week, my husband was out searching for our cat that had gotten out of the house, and when he walked down towards our neighbor's house, the cat was carrying a mouse out from that property. The blue tarps are an eyesore for us enjoying the lake. For months, they've shredded and waved in the wind, which speaks on how often this house has been checked on. We've gone to the city, and these issues have not been corrected. You can see this house from 175 across from the lake over by the Chanute Dam and the landing. Today, these tarps are not shredded mess anymore. They're gone because they've come off in the wind. Lastly, I'm wanting to know if the city is going to allow people to store rotting wood and items in their yard for years of discarded, unused items. I'm wondering if there's an ordinance that against outside storage like this. If these ordinances are not enforced, will the property continue to, just other people continue to discard things in their yards and our yards looking like junkyards? Our property sales are going to suffer, which our values are going to go down. The rats and this unsightly project needs to go. It needs to be done. And I was told by the city that if a project has not been worked on for 6 months, that the permit becomes null and void. And I just learned that this person now gets another 30 days. And it keeps getting extended and extended and extended. And when is it going to stop? This is my neighborhood. I would love to have a human living there, not rats.
Thank you, Ms. Sherry. Mr. Andy, Mr. Andy Lamont?
Yes, sir.
That's-
Mayor, I have a request.
Be sure to come over here to the,
Yes.
and the only reason I ask that's because the camera and the sound and stuff in the back don't pick it up unless you're on the mic.
First off, my request is, I'm going to be speaking on the same property, and the people who own the property next door have sent me a text message, because they live a few hours away, and asked that I read the text message to the council for their input. And then I have a few comments as well. Also, for point of reference, these are photographs of what's been on the property for the last couple of years. And it actually looks better than it has. So, from Leanne Olds, who lives at number 9 Cacale Trace, they bought the property as a weekend retreat from the cities that they live in. And for 3 years, that's what they've been looking at, what's on those photos. There has been no work done toward the completion of the project since October of 2023. The blue tarps that had been around the deck were shredded and blowing around onto surrounding properties and into the lake. The Olds owners have a rodent problem and had to hire an exterminator to help. The rats and mice are coming from an unfinished property. Building materials are rotting and scattered on the property. And numerous times, Ms. Olds has had to move corrugated aluminum sheets from her property that have blown off the stack near the lake. The project has been given numerous extensions with no work being done. Please hold the owner/contractor to the same standard that other contractors are held to. By not doing so, the city is setting a precedent that is okay to build without consideration for timelines, codes, or regulations of the city of Cherokee Village. Thank you for your time and consideration, Ms. Leanne Olds. Pretty much what I say would be a rehash of what my wife has said. I live at 11 Tossie. Past experience in a new build property that I had grown up or been living in. A house was built on the wrong lot. Contractors went and built the proper house on the proper lot. The bank sat on this unfinished house for months, actually a year and a half, exposed to the weather. It had a roof, but it had no windows, it had no sheeting. When they finally decided to build it and sell it, the people who bought it moved in and they were out within 2 months because the floors from the mold of the material that had been exposed to the weather for so long, once they sealed up the house, mold took over. If this house continues, I'm afraid nobody will ever occupy it. But the problem right now is nothing is being done since October of 2023. Nothing anyone can see from the street. Thank you.
No problem.
Mr. Mayor? I have a question of the city clerk. I don't know if your records would recall, but there was a former city councilman. His first name was Tom. I do recall that.
Then,
Pardon?
Tom Thone?
Thone, yes, Tom Thone. Tom Thone lived on Lake Chanute, and because of this continued extension and protraction of construction on this property, Mr. Thone put his home out of frustration, and he spoke to myself and Councilman Covington and at length, and I believe he may have even had conversations with former Mayor Stokes on this issue. And so this has been a problem ongoing for years, and to no avail. And out of frustration, Mr. Thone put his property on the sale, up for sale, and he moved from Cherokee Village because he couldn't deal with it anymore. My personal point of view, not as a councilman, but at my own personal point of view, is time is long expired for this to be brought to conclusion. There should be no further tolerance of this extended period of time of construction. And now the pictures prove we have a health hazard created by this. So my suggestion is that the city attorney and get with our inspection and possibly the health department and conduct an on-site inspection of this property to determine to what extent it presents a public nuisance and a health hazard. Enough. And ma'am, I know that you own the property.
Yes.
And enough is enough. I believe you've asked the mayor, both two separate mayors, this council, the city inspector, and your neighbors for an abundance of patience. But I believe by any reasonable measure, your time has expired. That's my own personal point of view. And I'll put it to the city attorney to see what actions can or cannot be taken.
But you don't have the whole story.
Ma'am, we've been given an abundance of information over time by yourself and by your representatives, and I believe the time has come. We have people in the public, we have neighbors. You know, I actually walked that property back when Tom Thone was on city council. And I walked through that property and I saw the condition of the hay bales that you had on site and those that you had installed. And to the comments of your neighbor that was just up here, I can't imagine utilizing that material inside of your structure. But
Miss Hannaville, you can have your 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Steve, let me correct you. It wasn't Tom Thone. Right. It was another last name. It was on council.
Tom Thone, Thone?
No, wrong person.
No.
I apologize.
I'm just saying for the record, I'll say to her just a minute. Because she worked at the Welcome Center and it starts with an R.
Chris, his wife. That's the first name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
Go
that.
ahead, Miss Hannah.
Thank you. Hannah Eisenberg at 7 Cacklen Trace in Cherokee Village. I tried my best to sell that property, and Tom kept telling all the prospective buyers that the property had been already condemned. I had 7 people that were very interested. It wasn't until the 8th person did I find out what was going on. When I'd asked, I changed my focus, and instead of telling him what I wanted, I asked him what was he offering, and he offered $20,000, and when I asked him where he was, and it was confirmed he was on that property, then he told me that the next door neighbor, who was the councilman, Tom, told him that it was condemned. And I recorded it, and I went to see Mayor Stokes and said, now we have a problem. And when he knew, Tom, the neighbor, councilman, knew that when we started putting pallets, there was nothing on that property, we kept it clean total and complete. But there was dog dew all over the place, and then we found a picture on Facebook that has them on our dock. And every time they'd let their dogs out, the dogs would, I was there one day, and I was shocked when he just would go right onto the property. So it wasn't a solo incident. You know, animals usually go where they're used to. Then when we started bringing in only 12 pallets is when hell started with Tom. And he started threatening immediately that nothing was ever going to happen there. What was there existing when we started was a 3-sided concrete box in the ground. That's the foundation, or what you all call the walkout basement. And before I started all of this, I ended up flushing all the lines and everything else to make sure that everything worked right, and also had that septic cleaned to make sure there was no cracking. Because if there was going to be no way we could afford to put the septic across the street in the island. Okay, and so anyway, it has been hell the whole time. Now, I've only been in this room twice for myself. Monday was the first time here, and then the other time was the one time I was asked to come to Planning and Zoning to describe everything and answer all their questions. That's it. That's the only time I've ever been in through here. Unfortunately, with this last year, it's been absolute horrible. My life has turned upside down, both medically and physically. I have to have people come in to help me get dressed. I mean, it's just been horrible. And thankfully, the bank has stayed with us. The bank has even given us an approval for a refi. Now my problem is being able to work enough to be able to pay for that refi. That's primarily what it is. Now those bales are clean inside. You can come in and see that, because the bank has already had to do that, and an appraiser already has been through that. They're shocked at how beautiful it looks from the inside, because it's been covered. Okay.
Yeah, just have to come up and state your name and address.
Do I sit down now?
Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Haney.
Hey, Mayor, on this subject, I mean, I don't know if he's going to speak on this subject in particular, but we had a productive conversation Monday night at the meeting, so maybe you can explain what you told her she had to do.
Significant, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the audience knows, or if this couple up here knows what she came to our working meeting Monday night, and we had a full-on discussion, and, you know, the frustrations we have and the frustrations she has, and the mayor came up with what he had decided.
That was what we talked about was you had a discussion with Mr. Charlie, an inspector, and in the discussion, it was said that you had 30 days to make significant progress. And that 30 days is going to end in, I have to look at it again, but it was, you know, January 10th, that there has to be significant progress, not cutting the grass or not moving one bundle from one side. I mean, like, we need to have a house in the dry ready to move into.
Well, Charlie was there, and we discussed where I should start putting some things, and then what to dispose of. He's also approved that I can burn, because you're not supposed to when you're on a job site. He's somehow got confirmation that I can burn, but I'll call him and let him know first. I already talked to our fire chief.
Okay.
I just want to burn because that's how the house came down. My
Okay.
house was, actually was an arson.
Yeah, okay.
That's the original house.
Okay. Oh, yeah, and you're supposed to make sure the bank provides the copy of the refi that you was talking about.
Which would be lovely, because I've never been given a copy.
Yeah, and it's to come directly from the bank.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if they can get the copy.
Okay.
Well, Ms. Hannah, didn't you say Monday night that you were going to get that done before Friday, before tomorrow, and
I was hoping to have already left 2 messages for Fred at the bank.
Okay, here, I want to back up a second about you got permission from Charlie to burn what exactly on? Huh?
It's barn wood that's over 100 years old. None of it's been treated. And the reason why for that is because Charlie, he knows our financial situation, and he said the dump is just ridiculously expensive.
how many years ago did this all start? Did you start this project?
We started thinking about the project in '21. We started bringing in logs from a reclaimed barn that was 120 years old in '22. We actually started construction, physical construction, January of '23. And then we unfortunately had to wrap everything up because of my surgery, and then John got very ill, and we wrapped everything up in March of '24. In October of '24, the bank went out to do an assessment for a refi. That was October of '24. We didn't hear about the refi being approved until April of '25.
And when did your house burn down?
Burned down in '09.
Okay,
The car was rigged and blew up twice in the car.
that's where it all started.
I'm trying to go back and figure, who was Chris on this city council in 2021 and 22? What?
No, Chris was his wife. Tom was.
Tom, okay, Tom,
It was Rupert. That's it. P-E-R-T. A-R-D. That's it.
oh, okay, Mr. Rupert, okay,
It
Okay,
was Tom, but no, it was
okay.
It was a Tom.
Thank you, Miss Betty. I was so confused about timeline, because I'm going, I don't remember.
that was the police chief.
Huh?
He was a police chief.
Yeah, used to be.
Go ahead, sir.
Hi, my name is Rick Morrell. I live at 5 Cacklen Trace. I'm new to the neighborhood. I just purchased the property adjacent to Hannah's property. First off, I'd like to say I feel bad for her, and I hate to put a damper on anybody's dreams because I have my own too. But talking with the neighbors, and I've been in construction all my life. I'm a retired bricklayer. I've worked commercial. I've worked residential. The place, it would take way too much money to put into the place as the way it stands, in my professional opinion, to do what the lady wants to do. It is a terrible eyesore. I am wanting to put a big commercial garage on my other property, and been talking with the town here and learned of all the things I have to do and got all my numbers, but I'm hesitant because of having too much money into the property in case, God forbid, something happens to me and my wife has to sell and she cannot get the money back out of the property. So with that in mind, and like I say, I feel compassionate for her, I don't see this moving forward, and it's detrimental to the neighborhood. And also the man I purchased it from, I seen it online and I talked to him, and he had told me he had it sold a couple different times, but people backed out and the banks weren't on board with it because of the adjacent property. It didn't assess out. And I bought it anyway because we'd been looking a long time, and this piece of property, really hit us and we wanted it. And I heard from him that Hannah, and I've talked with Hannah, and she's a very nice lady, and I'm really sorry that she's had her problems. I don't see it being completed, and since then, I've talked with all the neighbors, and I don't think you're just going to be pouring water on a forest fire here if it continues. And I need to have closure with it too in my own mind to know either if it's going forward at a rapid pace so that I can go ahead with my life and put my money into our property and help the neighborhood.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Come on. Say name and address.
Jan Madsen, 6 Arapahoe Road, and I just had a question in regards to the permit that we're talking about. Had an lengthy talk on Monday. Anyway, it seemed to me in October that we brought up the situation, and it was the ADU situation, and it was determined that we would put a hold on permits. So I'm wondering about the timing for the permit for the shed, as opposed to the stopping permits because of the ADU. So that's all I have.
the hold on the hold that the city council voted on for the 1,000 square foot or less houses being built in the village was.
Was that the permit that was being held?
Yeah, it was because of the shed, so it happened before, and then the
Okay.
hold come afterwards.
Oh, I
yes.
thought it was due to the ADUs, because we didn't know what we were doing
No,
with ADUs.
that's one thing we've got confused in, and it's actually two different items. ADUs is one item, and the shed is
Okay,
another
all right.
item.
I just thought the situation came up in October was about the ADUs.
There wasn't, yes, they did come up and talk
But
about it.
they had the permit for the shed before that?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was already installed before that, yes.
Yes, but to speak to her point, what started this, what put this on my radar about the ADU is I asked the clerk specifically about this shed and asked, how it happened, and the answer she gave me was because of the House bill that had passed regarding ADUs. Which,
Planning and zoning clerk.
yes, but as we know, those are two completely different things. So that's actually what did kind of start this whole conversation, to your point, was that was what the decision to give that permit was issued based on the understanding of that bill or the lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, you have to clarify for the record what she said, because it won't pick it up.
She was just making a clarifying statement that you're supposed to have a house
Okay.
before the shed.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't hear. Sorry.
So Mayor, do we need to give any sort of, or are we doing what you suggested, Mr. Thompson, that we're going to figure out what we can do about the property at hand?
Mm-hmm.
And then, is the council going to need to do something about that? Is it going to go back to planning and zoning? Is it just up to the mayor?
You come back to council.
Well, her 30 days
Is
is up on
up
January
before-
10th, so maybe we can,
Yeah, by then it'll be working meeting, council meeting time again, so by the next council meeting, yeah, we'll have options.
Okay.
well,
Do what?
I don't know.
No,
Mayor?
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
When
Ms. Heather, go
Well,
ahead.
you say working meetings in January, and I know the elephant in the room is nobody seems to be attending the working meeting.
Right.
So the question is, are we going to have?
Four, done.
True. We don't have a full attendance on working meetings, so the question is whether or not we're going to have working meetings going forward.
It's a good question.
Her permit runs out the 10th? Sorry.
The agreement
Yeah.
that was made it to working meeting, yes.
Oh, the extension.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and our working meeting isn't until Monday, the 12th.
And Charlie's supposed to go back out there by the 10th.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we'll have some more.
Yep.
We'll have some more information for options at that time.
Mayor, I did talk to Charlie when I did this because I wanted to get clarification. And the bullet point I put there was Charlie met with Hannah and agreed to a 30-day extension to complete and/or clean up the property. December 10th, 2025. Charlie is monitoring this for the next step. So he's got it on his radar, he's got it on his calendar that as of the 10th, something has to be done.
Okay.
But back to working meetings, as long as we're talking about them, that is not a place where you resolve a conflict. That's where you discuss things, and that's it. You cannot resolve something at a working meeting. Hence, it's a working meeting.
Nobody said
You
about
have to-
resolving.
Well, it sounds like there was an agreement made at a working meeting.
No, ma'am.
No, there
Well, that's
wasn't.
what it sounds
No.
like. I'm just
No,
saying.
It was communicated at the
Okay,
working
as long as it
meeting
was
that
communicated.
Charlie-
But we do not make decisions at working meetings. That's my point. That's it.
We're aware of that.
About what I just read?
Read it again, Miss Penny. He didn't hear it apparently.
Because that was done before the meeting when we were talking about correspondence and what was posted.
The,
Charlie met with Hannah and agreed to a 30-day extension to complete and/or clean up the property. That was on December 10th, 2025. Charlie is monitoring this for the next step.
So
That was
that's-
Charlie's response into the correspondence that we received, that came into this packet that you received, Dick.
I just made the point that no decision can be made at the working meeting of the council. That's the
Correct.
end of the point.
Yep. Any other business, public comments, business?
Kelly Harrison, Tonto Lane. I am on planning and zoning, and I have brought up that home when I first got on planning and zoning, which was last year, because I had 5 Kaplan listed. And I had some people come in and look, and there was some difficulty showing the home because of the condition of it. I'm bringing this up simply because I appreciate everything that planning and zoning does, that office. It's a big job. Charlie has a lot of obligations on him, and so does Robert and Angela. But what I see happening is things falling through the cracks, and I think it's important that we, come together. As a planning and zoning person, I'm still learning, and I've asked for some guidance through city council, and, now that Eddie's gonna be on, maybe we can coincide a little bit better, and things will, he'll be able to be a liaison. Jason's taken an initiative to be at the meetings. But what I see happening is, we're talking about all these other things that planning and zoning can be doing, like, and I know you're gonna shoot me when I say this, but yard work and lawn care, and we have things like this happening in the community. And I think that's why it's important that our planning and zoning focuses on the buildings in here, safety, citizens being comfortable in their environment, following ordinances. I just think that that's a really important part of that department, and lots of things are slipping through the cracks there. There's permits being issued that maybe the ordinances are being misread or misunderstood, and so maybe we need some more education there in that department. So thank you for your time, and I appreciate anything from council when it comes to planning and zoning, because we can't do it without you.
Thank you.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
I do have one more quick question, and then I'll drop it. So, on what Penny just read, can you tell me, is that what Charlie lined out? What I want to know is, was there something given to her as of recent, before he gave her this extension, that lines out at the end of this extension exactly what is expected? Because because you said it, Mayor, significant progress. That doesn't mean move some things around and burn a little bit of wood. That means there better be something going on the house. It needs to be being
With the
built.
correspondence coming into my office, I brought Charlie in and, of course, gave it to him, and he read it. And I asked him to give me the bullet points.
Gotcha.
And the last, where are you on this? So that he could tell me, from his point of view, where he's at. And that was it. I met with her, we discussed this, here's your options, and I will deal with it at the end of the 30 days.
Yeah, which I'm a specifics person, like right down to every little letter of what's expected. So that's why I was questioning that. I know you said it was correspondence. I know if I had a question about that and that was the answer I received, I would not be satisfied. So I just want to make sure there is resolution quickly for this problem. So I want to make sure that Ms. Hannah knows exactly what is expected of her and when that date is to be, and then what exactly is going to happen when that date gets there.
To her point, there is some ambiguity in significant improvement, and significant improvement where? To the lot, to the structure, to the safety, to the whatever. So, at this point, I know it's very frustrating for her, but, at this point, the citizens and her, for that matter, need very specific direction as to what the expectation is at this point. So, any chance I have, I would love to push that there is documentation, there are updates that are a lot more specific so that everyone has the full scope of what's going on, what's left to do, what has been improved upon specifically, so that there's no more ambiguity with this.
And that would all come out of the planning and zoning. Mine, what I read, just happened to do with the correspondence that we were reporting here so that you could have the paperwork that I gave you for Monday's meeting.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
I was just waiting. I figured
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
some-
Or do we not want to?
Ms. Pam, you got something?
I second said motion.
All righty. Motion by Mr. Martin, seconded by Mr. Ishmael to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passes.
Spaced out.
Do what?